Hello viewers, here is a question which I just made up. As this question is arguably not advanced math, it's going onto both my YouTubes. You'll also notice my question is rather colorful. Why not? Colorful makes it more fun and interesting. And the other reason why is my printer has run out of black ink. That's another good reason to make it colorful. But anyway, this is the question. We have a school of languages. Every student is learning at least one language. 120 are learning French, 160 are learning Spanish, 220 are learning German, 70 are learning French and Spanish, 90 are learning French and German, and 110 are learning Spanish and German, and 50 students are learning all three languages. How many students in the school? The approach I do is I draw this diagram, which you've probably seen before, and I should make my S more noticeable. Okay, so let's say this circle represents everyone learning Spanish. This little portion is those learning Spanish and German because it's within the circle of both. And let's say this portion is all three languages because it's within each circle. And the trick to this, the approach, is to work backwards from all three to two languages and one languages. Because if I start off with French is 120, that 120, we don't know how many are learning Spanish or German or all three, so it's not easy to know which numbers to put in where. But if I go backwards, 50 students are learning all three languages. 110 are learning Spanish and German. There's Spanish, there's German. It says 110, which means if there's 50 here, it's another 60 here. Because this is every Spanish and German includes some who are doing French as well. If this 50 are learning Spanish and German, we put 60 here to make it 110. 90 are learning French and German. This circle is French, this circle is German. This portion is French and German. And if there's 50 already here, means we put 40 there to make it 90. And what makes it more of a challenge is reading my handwriting. Now that's a good student, a student who reads my handwriting. 70 are learning French and Spanish. 70, so if there's 50 here, we put 20 there, so we can see there are 70 learning French and Spanish. Some of those 70 are learning all three languages, and now 220 are learning German. These are all the students that are learning German. These numbers here add up to 150. So if there's 220 learning German, we need another 70 to add up to 220. 70 plus 40 is 110, plus 50 is 160, plus 60 is 220. That sounds good. 160 are learning Spanish, so that's 70 plus 60 is 130, which means we need another 30 over here. So all these numbers here add up to 160. That's how many are learning Spanish. And 120 are learning French. These numbers add up to 110. See, everyone in the circle are learning French. So if there's 110 in these parts, we need another 10. And now what we have to do is add up all these numbers. 30, 60, 100, 150, 210, plus 70 is 280. And what I'm going to do is just to check, I'll even count in another direction. 70 plus 60 is 130, plus 30 is 160, plus 20 is 180, plus 50 is 230, plus 40 is 270, plus 10 is 280. We have 280 students. Now let's see if I can say thank you in all three languages. Merci, gracias or gracias, and dankeschön. And if I learn correctly, gracias is Castilian Spanish, and gracias is Latino Spanish. Anyway, that's the question.